In the last hour, the capital murder trial of Billy Chemirmir wrapped up its first day.
He is accused of being one of the worst serial killers in the state's history. Jurors heard from one of the dozens of victims he's accused of attacking. Our Andrea Lucia is at the Frank Crowley Courts building in Dallas with more on that testimony. Andrea?
Yeah, Mary Bartell may have been one of many victims, but she was only two survivors that we know of. A trial today was moving very quickly. It kicked off this morning with the prosecution's opening statement laying out their case, which they argue should make the jury's job here an easy one.
It was mentioned a couple of times that this is going to be a difficult chore on your part. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think it's going to be that difficult.
We heard testimony today from 9 different witnesses. They laid the groundwork for how police developed Chemirmir as a suspect. At the time, they were investigating the attack on 91-year-old Bartell. The most memorable testimony of the day, as we mentioned, came from Bartell herself. It was given in a video deposition taken before her death last year. She described hearing a rap at the door and having a man push his way into her apartment.
The door was opening inward, and my eyes were just fixated on these green rubber gloves that I saw. And I knew instantly when I saw those 2 green rubber gloves, number 1, I should not have opened the door. Number 2, my life was in grave danger.
Bartell said her attacker held a pillow over her nose and mouth until she lost consciousness. When she came to, firefighters were there giving her aid, and her jewelry, including a wedding band and a diamond engagement ring that she had been wearing, were missing. A detective investigating Bartell's attack said he found a report of a suspicious vehicle in that complex. He ran the license plate and says it came back to Billy Chemirmir. Officers went to arrest Chemirmir on an unrelated warrant and say when they found him, he had jewelry in his hands, and in a dumpster nearby there was a jewelry box. Inside that jewelry box, they say, was the name of the victim, the murder victim in this case, Luthi Harris.
Hey, Andrea, I know we've talked about the COVID precautions in place that have prevented family members of Chemirmir's alleged victims from watching in person, but I understand that they are in the courthouse and that you've spoken with them. What is that like for them?
Yeah, there's about 17 family members of different alleged victims of Chemirmir who have been here in the courthouse. They represent 10 different families. They spent today in a room upstairs. They said it was very emotional for them to watch this testimony. A lot of tears were shed. They said in particular it was hard to watch the testimony of Mary Bartell, but they did think she did a great job representing the victims as sharp, vibrant women. They just say that when she talked about her experience, they couldn't help but imagine that that is exactly what their own mothers went through. We're going to hear more from them coming up at 5.
Yeah, we'll see you at 5, Andrea. Thank you so much for those updates. And we have